everybody. Ooh, what happened to my voice there? No, so this is why Joshua, my CRO, makes fun of me because whatever just happened to my voice there is not what usually happens to my voice. Happy Thursday, y'all. Thanks for joining me. I hope everybody's having a good week. Hi, Rocky. How is everyone doing today? I gotta open the chat up. Hold this. How's everybody doing? If it's your first time here, we love the chat. Please use it. Please feel free to say hello. Hi, Tia. I want to say Natia because I had a friend named Katia, and I wonder if I pronounced that correctly. Let me know. Hi, Julie. How's everyone doing tonight? Hi, Andy. Hey, Debbie. Hi. I am having a Monday of a Thursday because as some of you know, if it's not your first time, I go on vacation next week and I have not gotten my life together. Hey, Sal. Hi, Alexis. Hello, Sarah. Daniela. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad that we're so glad you're here, Daniela. Cam. Oh, my goodness. So many of my favorite people are here. How is everybody doing? Hi, Angelica or Angelica. I'm sorry. Let me do a quick introduction. If it is your first time here, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Elevate Your Agency. We do this every Thursday night. Well, with exceptions of I'm on vacation next week, but most Thursday nights we meet here and we talk personal and professional development. We get into it. I go off topic. We get to a good point at the end. It's a lot of fun. The reason why I do it, I've been in the industry for 14 years and I've worked in very different capacities in the industry. I've been an advisor myself. I owned my own agency and I worked on the wholesaler side in the business development space on their national accounts. And then now, I'll into that in a second, Sal. She's okay. I still ask where my dog is, which her name is Ellie, and she's employee of the month. I'll get into that in a second. And then now that I work on the host side, if you are not familiar with me, I am the director of agency development at World Via Travel Network, which is a host agency. If you're not part of my host agency and you want to learn more, please reach out. If not, everyone is welcome. This is not focused on my host agency. We're not selling my host agency. This is truly just an opportunity to talk personal and professional development because a trend I saw out in that industry is that nobody was talking about this. So I wanted to create a space that was free on Thursdays where we can all get together and learn a little bit more. So welcome, y'all. So to discuss formally, Sal, Ellie is here. She might come back in at some point. We have some thunderous weather right now. So currently she's hiding under a blanket in my daughter's room because we are not a fan of the thunder or the fireworks, which she used to be. She used to not care at all. She actually used to sit outside and watch the fireworks with us. And something happened the beginning of the last year. And she's like, no, thank you, Mom. I would like to stay inside. I would like a thunder jacket and I would like to stay inside. So when I came to come in, I saw her shivering in my daughter's room. I said, okay, you could stay in here. But she may come back out because it has passed, but it was a little scary there for a minute. Oh, we see everybody, Pitbull hides under the desk. Yeah. So Ellie, for those of you that don't know, I don't want to spend too much time with my dog, but she's a mutt. She's mostly a mountain cur, but there's definitely a little bit of a pit in her. There she is terrified of literally everything. She's the worst watchdog ever. Oh, you have two like that, Pam. Oh my goodness. Okay. So enough dog talk for the moment. I'm sure she'll make an appearance, and I hope she does because we love that. So tonight, and I also just want to address if it is your first time here, feel free to chat away. It helps the conversation flow a lot easier for me. I love hearing your input, your thoughts, your things that have worked or haven't worked for you. I love when you all interact with each other. Also, we do have a Facebook group. If you're not already in it, I'm going to copy the link into the group right now. What's great about that is if this is your first time, you can see all the past episodes in there. You could also interact with so many of the individuals that are in here. You can see what's coming up next, what you might need to know, what want to get to know. You can give ideas. There's a lot of cool things coming up in the future. I have a podcast coming out. We're working on a workshop for this. This is getting, hi, Lilith. It has been so long. I'm so happy everyone's here. So that is a great place to get to know everyone, get involved in the community. We're getting bigger and bigger, and there's a lot of cool things coming up. So you'll hear a lot about that in there. All right, tonight's topic. Let's get it started because I don't want to go too far off time. So I want to be respectful of everybody's time because it is dinner for some. People have things going on. We are getting into networking like a pro. So you all know I'm a big believer in kind of connecting these stories. So 2 weeks ago or last week, was it that we talked about? We got into, oh my goodness. We talked about, your client relationships. The week before that, we talked about supplier partner relationships. And now I want to talk about how you approach those individuals just out in the environment where you're going to meet them, right? And this is going to be definitely more focused on supplier, but in general. And this is going to be how to network like a pro. It's how to expand your industry connections. I know there's a lot of fear behind that. Not everyone got in this industry to do that. So we're going to talk through it. If you have questions, thoughts, comments, sarcastic remarks, pop them in the chat, please. If not, if you want to be quiet, that's also totally fine. You're also welcome to send me questions afterwards. My email address is laura@worldvia.com. Social anxiety brought you here. I love that. I actually did a networking session. I'm sorry. Months ago called Networking for Introverts, which is also a fun take on this, but this is for everybody. We're going to talk through it and I'll adjust for everyone. Because listen, I want to be clear as I pop this presentation up. I am what I would call an extroverted introvert. So this is natural to me in a screen. This is natural to me in a teaching space. This is natural to me when I am out and I am representing my company. When I am not representing my company, I am in what my loving teenage daughters like to call potato state. It's called being an ambivert. I feel like you said that the last time. And that is who I am naturally. We call it potato state. I'm like, I will have a book in a corner. Please don't look at me for too long. I'll get uncomfortable. But when I am in that space when I'm speaking about something I'm passionate about, which is this, I can go all day. But there's like an on and off button for me for sure. Okay, I'm an extroverted introvert too. Yeah, see, but it all depends on how much social battery I have. Great point. So that is what I'm going to do a full kind of class on this on burnout and how to take care of yourself so this all is better later. So we're not going to get into that, but self-care, as cheesy as that phrase is, it's incredibly important to be a good networker, to be a good business owner, to always check yourself first. But we're not getting into that too much. I'm thinking I'm sharing my screen. I am not. Hold, please. Let me pop it up there. Let's go into weather mode, as I like to formally call it. Oh no, I can't do weather mode again. Something's going on with the image where it's making me all crazy. I forgot about that last time. All right, we're gonna go side by side again this time. And if it's too small and anyone wants the slides because the type is too small, just let me know and I'm happy to send it to you. Let's get into it. So I like you guys to be able to see me as we're chatting along. Okay, and Ellie if she makes an appearance. So now we're going to go ahead and expand your industry connections. Now, I want to be clear. There's not always opportunities for this, but we're going to talk about what opportunities make sense, when they make sense, what you should do for these, and how it all works out. But we just came out of a heavy industry event season. We're in a lull because all of our clients are traveling right now, right? And then we're about to get into another pretty heavy industry event season, which is the fall. I'm mixing my tea. I'm not doing magic over here. I have a little bit of a scratchy throat, which we need to avoid for vacation. You know what I'm saying? So you just came out of the lull, so you don't have to stress about anything too much. There's a handful of events that go on in the summer, but a lot of it's coming up for the fall. And this would be a great preparation to be in a good space for the fall and make sure you have the right things to say, make sure you're presenting yourself the right way. Make sure you're asking the right questions, all that good stuff. So, please, let's kick a slide over here. Come on. Oh, this is just my welcome overview. This image cracks me up. Networking does not stop after you've built your client base or your partner network. It is an ongoing strategy that can elevate your business even further. I'm going to make something. I said this last week in a different topic, but I think it's very relevant here. I know a lot of people in this industry, but I meet someone new every day. And every probably 3 to 5 people I meet someone that could help my business or help my members' business that I didn't know before. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad I met you. And many of those times it's because I was like, hey, so what do you do? What is your story? because they might be introverted and they don't want to jump out and be that person, but we start a conversation and then they want to tell their story. I will tell a silly story before we get into too much. But I took my mother, I think I saw some of you knew this, when I took my mother on the MSC World America cruise. And my mother had never traveled with me for work before. And I was just meeting individuals. I was like, oh, hi, who are you? What do you do? Hi, who are you? What do you do? And this lovely gentleman talked and talked and talked and talked. And he had such a great story. And he had story after story. And he'd been in the industry forever. My mom goes, whoo, he could talk. How do you deal with that all day? I go, Ma, I deal with that day. Or she actually said, no, she said, I couldn't deal with that guy. I go, I do that day in and day out. But I love it. I think what I love the most about our industry is everyone has a story, because a good chunk of us weren't born into becoming a travel advisor, right? A good chunk of us, it's not a family business. There are some, but not all, right? Many of us, this was a change of life. Many of us didn't anticipate this experience happening to them, and they walked into it. So they lived lives before they got here. So I love having those conversations with people. And that's not just agency owners. This is our supplier partners. So many of them didn't just work for travel before. There's a lot of great stories out there. So this is just a side note, take the moment to listen and ask, because some people have some incredible stories. The gentleman that I was speaking with, and after speaking with him for no less than a half hour, found out that he was on the airplane that was leaving, I think it was last year, the year before, that when it was leaving South Africa, took the dip, the nosedive, and then clipped back up, and it was like all over the news. And he was on that flight. Fun fact. Anyways, we move on. So today's session is designed to help you refine your networking approach, cultivate meaningful relationships, and leverage opportunities aligned with your experience. I always write a real sassy phrase in the beginning here. I hope I live up to it by the end, but we're going to get into it. So first, let's talk about the value. We talk about selling value first for your customers. I want you guys to see the value of this, the WIFM, the what's in it for you, or what's in it for me is what WIFM actually stands for, but the value of networking in advancing your career. Key benefits. So securing exclusive deals and opportunities. Listen, you're not going to know about the fancy trips or FAMs. You're not going to know about the fun dinners and events. You're not going to know that they're not going to even be on your radar if you aren't having the right conversations with the right supplier partners to be involved with them. I endlessly from our advisors hear, oh, I wish I had known about that. Oh, why didn't I hear about that? And we find that many are not in touch with their local representation. Now, there are certain scenarios where there are suppliers that don't love that. We're not talking about those. Many do love it. Many of them want you to have, even if they do have a larger representation for your host agency, they want you to be involved through regional representation, because there are dinners, there's events, there's promotions, there's giveaways, there's things that you can take part of. If you don't know, you're not involved in. We talked about this in the supplier part, but it's important to talk about here. So getting exclusive deals. Sometimes a BDM might have a deal just for them. And if you don't know about it and you hear about it from somebody else locally, you're going to be upset that you didn't get it. But not knowing, and you're not on the radar, you're not going to hear about it. Also, gaining access to industry insights and innovations. We talked about this in supplier partner training a few weeks ago, but I have a scratchy throat, so I'm going to take one more sip. And then I'm all in. Consistently, at every industry event I'm at, when awards are given away, if an agency owner, ooh, I love that, Lilith. So she talks to her BDM for sector almost weekly. Every individual that won an award, and when they said why I'm here, every single one, I'm not exaggerating. Supplier, if they were a supplier winner, different conversation, but the advisors, they went, I am here because of the relationship I built with my supplier partners, because of the relationship I built with my BDM partners. So I will scream till I'm blue in the face. You need to take the time to make these relationships, because that is what's going to get you to the places you want to go. If you have a goal for yourself, they're going to help you get there. And they're going to be able to think out of the box for you. That's what I mean by innovations, right? You are new to this. Well, not everybody's new to this industry, but you're new to this industry. You don't know where to start. They're going to help you with that. If you are in it for years and years and years and you're burnt out and you cannot think of what to do next, that's what their ideas are for. That is their entire job description. They are a business development manager. Okay. That is what they're there for. They're there to help you. They're there to help you build. and to give you insights. There's things that you might not know, and that has nothing to do with experience level. You could be in the business. I've told you guys the story before of the advisor that I know. She's in the industry 35 years. But post-COVID, well, pre-COVID, she had never sold an ocean cruise. Well, not, I shouldn't say never, but rarely sold an ocean cruise. Didn't have enough experience about it to be confident in it. But everybody was ocean cruising the last 2-3 years. And she realized, I am missing money. Like, I know my clients will come back to what they're usually going for, but I am missing out on a prime space of money. If they're going somewhere else, I need to learn it. So with 35 years experience, she had to start at day one again. And how she did it was with her BDM partners, with her supplier partners. Lila, she helped me create a small group trip to Tuscany for 2026. Ooh, we met today for tips to help me find clients now. I love that. That's a great example of what supplier partners can do for you. They're going to help you create the trip. They're going to help you try and sell the trip. A lot of times they will do events with you to sell out the trip to groups of people. They'll help you build collateral for it. That is what they're there for. Rocky, we started a network for TAs in North Carolina associated with Rovia. I saw a rumor of that. I was very excited when I saw that. We have quarterly meetings starting this month, and we invited our local. Oh, I love it. If I had all the gold stars to throw your way, Rocky, I would. I don't. Or gold chips for Vegas. I don't know. I have neither, but that is incredible. So that is a great point. So if you don't have a local group to you, I would take the proactive initiative. Rocky built it. Rocky, I hope you don't mind. And if you have more details to what you did there, Rocky went into our host agency and said, hey, I think we should start, or I'm thinking of starting. I forget how you worded it, but I'm going to start this group for advisors in North Carolina that are in this host agency. Let me know if you're interested. He's built a group of individuals. They're starting meetings. They're having BDMs there for trainings. That is how you get in front of your supplier partners, especially your regional ones. That is how you get on their email list. That's how you get in front. You have to be proactive. This has come up even in my regular meetings this week. We're starting, and I'm just speaking for my team, not for you, but we're starting to get reactive and not proactive, which is we wait for the problem to happen and then we put in a result for it, right? But if you're proactive and you have your education there, you have your relationships there first, you're not panicking when something goes wrong because you already have that relationship. You know who to call. You don't have to worry about it. So doing things like that are going to take you such a far way in this industry. Being proactive is incredibly helpful. And you're just helping a ton of people along the way. Kim, great idea. I'm about to have a full-time travel agent. I may need to do this in Tampa. Yes, do it. Start out little mini baby groups. Have dinners. Listen, do things. Also, I just want to touch on a few weeks ago, some of you had said we should do a meetup in New York/New Jersey area. It's in the works. We're working on it. No details yet, but we're working on it for the end of summer kind of situation. Also, why the value is maintaining your position as a thought leader. So here's the thing. I haven't said this phrase in a few weeks, which is interesting. So I usually say it often, but you have to spend an incredible amount of time working on your business, not just in it. So in it is you're pulling proposals together, you're quoting trips, you're researching, you're sending out quotes, you're doing your marketing, sales, your marketing calendar, you're doing sales pitches, whatever. It's your day to day. It's your in and out. Working on your business is thinking outside the box a bit. And what I mean by the thought leader is, so there's a thing called thought leadership that is out there, and it's a lot with personal and professional development. So when you get out of your network space a little, or build out your network a bit, you're going to get around people that have different thoughts and experiences, different ideas, different innovations, like we talked about earlier. And that's going to grow the way your mind works, grow the way you make decisions in your business. It's going to make you think a little bit differently, right? And that puts you in a growth mindset. And a growth mindset will endlessly put you in the right direction because you're always going, oh, I heard, but this might work this way because they said this would work like this. I'm not using specific examples, but that's kind of what thought leadership is taking, and you showing up here is taking a step towards thought, being a thought leader, right? And thought leadership, personal and professional development is a way to do that. And when I say working on your business, not in it, it's taking some time for personal and professional development. What can you be doing better? What can you be reorganizing in your business? And who in your network can help you do that? Taking the time to network with other people and learn their ideas is incredibly helpful. There is a very well-known phrase. This is not mine, but it is, you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I always try to be in a room with at least a few people that are smarter than me, at least a few people that think differently than me. So I'm always thinking differently and taking in more information. Lilith, my niche is culinary and wine tours, Spain and Italy, Spain and Ireland. I wanted to partner with a wine group. There isn't one in my area, so I created one. I love that. We will meet at local wine bars and at local houses, drink wine, socialize. Plus, I have a captive audience to build, like, beautiful example. I love that. Julie's at Rocky. I'm in South Carolina. Can people join who are near, depending where they are in South Carolina? Oh, Rocky, you'll have to answer that. Sarah, if we are completely new, what do we say to a BDM? How do we contact them? Do they help us find clients? Ooh, great question, Sarah. One, I'll recommend you go back and watch. I think it's last week's or the weeks before we get into this, but I will briefly answer. One, they're not going to help you find clients per se, because business development managers don't have a list of the clientele in your area. What they can do is give you ideas how other advisors that they've worked with have brought clientele in. They can also give you collateral and things to help give out to potential clientele. At the ideas they give you, whether that's a large social event or some kind of an internal posting that they show you how to do, or they give you the collateral to do, or the keep using the word collateral, but that's not it. The copy to do, and the information for. But one, so how will you contact them? If you're part of a host agency, Sarah, I don't know if you're part of World Via or not. But if you are, you would go to your supplier page within your host agency partner portal, and find out who the point of contact is for your first point of contact. Who can you reach out to for the supplier that you're trying to reach out to? Then when you reach out to them, say, hi, my name's Sarah. I'm newer. I want to learn more about your company, as well as learn about how maybe you can help me grow my business. Are you the person I should be reaching out to, or is there someone more regionally that I can reach out to speak with? So that's first place to start, because then if they're not the person, they're going to take you to the person you need to be speaking with. And that's important. And again, I kind of said I'm going to say, but be conversational. Explain to them what your niche is. Explain to them what you intend on selling, what your goals are for yourself, especially because you're newer, because you're not going to be able to say, oh, I produce this much of business, but here are my goals. Here's what I'm looking to sell. Here's the audience I'm looking to reach. So they can help craft a better idea for you. Rocky, Julie, he answered you. Yes, as long as you're hosted by World Via. We're not trying to be exclusive, but just for practical for people in the area. We've got a few people who live in other states. Beautiful. Love that. Pam, we're doing the same for World Via in the Phoenix area next week. This is so loving. I love these groups. I'm not going to say it was me, because I'm not saying it was, but I do preach a lot about finding your people. And I love hearing that y'all are finding your people within your spaces. It's incredible. I'm with World Via. Beautiful. Yay. Love the connections. Okay. Evolving your offerings and partnerships. Kind of just talked about this, how you evolve, because evolving isn't just, so evolving is because sometimes I know we get into topics and people are like, oh, I'm experienced, I already know, or people are like, oh, I'm new, I can't understand what you're saying. This is definitely, evolving is a little bit of both, right? Because when you start in the industry, you start with an idea, you maybe love booking Disney, right? And then pretty quickly you're like, that is a heck of a lot of work. And maybe you don't love it as much anymore. Same with cruising. You loved cruising, but actually booking a cruise, you're like, that is not for me. Love touring Europe, but realize the work that goes into FITs, not for me. That's all fine. So evolving what you're willing to offer and what you're willing to book is totally normal. Also, sometimes you just burn out. You could love it for years and years and years. I have a very good friend, is an incredibly successful host agency owner. She started from the ground up. She has over 100 advisors. She started as a Disney agency. If you asked her to book a Disney trip today, she would tell you to pack your bags and get out of her office. It is not what brings her happiness anymore. It's not what brings her joy. She's found other offerings, and that took her evolving. That took her learning different product, teaching her advisors different product, broadening the horizons of her company, and that helped her size and scope her business easier. One, because they're bringing in more dollars. Let's be honest, you can love Disney, but their commission shares is low. So broadening the horizon of what you could bring on and what you can sell brings in more money in other places. And also it takes those people when they want their next trip, not just Disney, to different destinations. So that's a way you can evolve yourself and evolving your partnerships. Listen, again, it's same idea. You might have booked Disney forever and you're like, I'm going to start getting into expedition cruising. I want to learn more about her to cruise. I want to see what Silver Seas has to offer. I don't know if any of you, those of you who are that edge or kind of keep up with it, Silver Seas is building their own hotel in Antarctica for people that don't want to do the Drake shake. Holy moly. People are expedition cruising is getting insane. And it is definitely the new wave of travel, and it's the new trend for sure. Lilith, I started a newbie group for World. I love it. And anyone can join. We cheer each other on. I love. It's so incredible to see you guys doing all your own individual groups. But anyway, so back onto, I didn't realize I would click on the photo. Look at that. Evolving our offerings and partnerships. So just think about, as you're trying to build out your business in different ways, start teaming up with different partners. Okay. Maximizing networking events. One. So I taught a class about this at our yearly world event last year. Not exactly this topic, but how to present yourself at a trade show well. Because that is something that not everybody, great plug there, Pam. Make sure everyone goes to Accelerator. Not everybody has attended a trade show before in their past life, right? Like we talked about transitioning careers and transitioning jobs. I know in my past life, there were no trade shows, at least not for what I was working, right? So when I came into travel, I was like, ooh, where do I start? And I remember my first trad show, I was just there grabbing all the free things, getting all the free coffees, doing all the fun things, which is fun, trying to win all the prizes. I get it. When I started to go back, I was like, oh, I need to be a little bit more strategic about this. I also went in with a laundry list of all the people I needed to see, and I did not need to see them. I just wanted to know everybody, and that's not helpful for anyone. So what's important and to think about more than anything, I can do a whole trade show session another time, but the big piece about this is having an objective. So are you at this trade show to meet new suppliers for a new niche? Are you at a trade show to find alternative suppliers, like switch cell suppliers from a supplier you loved that is not doing it anymore and you need to find a great alternative to switch out with? Maybe. Are you at this trade show to find suppliers that are going to help you grow your business? These are all different suppliers. Could be the similar ones, but might all be different suppliers. Are you at this trade show because you're brand new and you just want to figure out where to start? All of this is acceptable answers, but you're going to have different paths the way you go into it and the way you're going to approach this event. So many trade show events, this is just trade show specific, not just any event, but many trade show events will give you like a book. I highly recommend you make notes. I always tell advisors get little post-it notes and like put them in there with like, oh, I need to see this one because, or what I want to get from this one. So that way you can flip to that page and go, right, I wanted to talk to you about this. Because when you have it in a notebook, it gets lost in the shuffle. But when you stick it right on the page next to where it needs to be, it's incredibly helpful. I'm also a big believer in getting those. And I know one of our members, I don't know if she's in here right now, that I said you buy, they're like $2. They're the mini staplers. You keep this in your bag because you're going to get 100 bags. If you didn't bring a bag, you're going to get 100 bags in a trade show. They love to give away bags. Put your little mini stapler in your bag, and then every business card you get from a supplier you spoke with that you want to follow back up with, you staple that to their page. And you'll never forget who they were or where they came from, and you won't lose the business cards. You can keep them take them off at the end, but that'll help you get through your follow-up on the way back. Rocky, yes, last year at Edge, I talked to everyone and then realized a year later that I wasted my time. This year I was very focused, but having a partner help me. Yeah. Listen, we all do it because there's some amazing partners out there and they offer incredible product lines and these amazing potential opportunities. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Here's a great example. I'm not selling a whole heck of a lot of charter sailboats or charter private planes. You know what I'm saying? It's not my market. And that's okay. That is for somebody. I could talk to that person. Those salespeople are lovely. They're not helping my business. So that's a great example of like you don't have to speak with everybody. Now, I kind of went down a road. Like I'm a big believer in the mini stapler. Get the book if they give one. If not, keep your own notebook, any notebook that you have notes and you staple their business card and what they're offering and how they so they can assist you and who you need to contact because it might not be the business card when you get back. And last week I talked about this, but I will tell you again because it is relevant right now. When I was on the supplier side, the people I remembered from a trade show were the ones that reached out to me after the trade show. It's not that I still might have remembered you anyways, but the fact that they took the extra step and said, hey, it was so lovely meeting you. Thank you for speaking with me about these things. It would immediately click in my brain. I knew what they needed for me, and then I had follow-up cadence with them. I always recommend doing a follow-up email on your part. Position yourself as a resource. Focus on being a trusted advisor, not just a seller. I can't tell you how many individuals, when I was a supplier, would come up to me and said, and their first question was, what is your policy on personal travel? And I went, well, and I would tell them, and I would go, understood. They're not here for business. I can't tell you how many people came up and didn't come up with a plan of attack. And now there's ways to approach this, right? Because I said, like, find out more about what they sell. But people would come up and be like, so what do you sell? And they almost seemed annoyed with me when they walked up. And I was like, oh, well, in the company I worked for, I'm like, well, we sell the world. What do you sell? What do you need help with? So just think about the way you're presenting yourself. Also, I would recommend that if you, again, think of your goals, you go up to the suppliers that make sense. So say you know you have group space that you're wanting to be selling. So you're walking up to the Royal Caribbean reps and saying, hey, I have a group of potential 50 people. I need to know what kind of amenity and offerings that I can offer to them. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Show your experience, show you're a professional, show why you need them. That's the questions they want to be answering at these kind of events. Quality over quantity. Let's kind of got into this already. Prioritize meaningful conversations that build relationships. Like I said, and I dare say, do a little bit of pre-work, a little bit of homework, know your goal for the year, go through the list of who's going to be there, because you're going to have a general idea of who might be at an event, even if you don't know for sure before you get there, and say, which of these supplier partners will benefit me? Which of these supplier partners are going to improve my profit or help me hit my goal? Circle those and then list them by priority and go, okay, who do I need to go to first? And then you need to write a pitch for yourself. It could be just a 30-second pitch. It could be a 10-second pitch for all I care. 30 is best, 60 is even better. Over 60 seconds isn't necessary because they don't have that much time. This is what I mean by quality over quantity. I'm going to get into this. There's a whole incredible training class that I took about how you can build your elevator pitch. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really need to teach it to you all because it was incredibly helpful for reteaching that information. But because just as much as you're coming to them going, well, how can you help me? They're going to be like, tell me more about your business. If I'm right, let me write it down, Pam. I cannot forget. I got to write it down. Okay. Elevator pitch. It's like a brand thing, but this is part of it. You're gonna be writing notes in real time. Elevator/brand class. Okay. So what you need to figure out is what in 60 seconds, what does a supplier partner need to know about your business or what you're trying to build in your business? So that is what you're good at or what you want to be good at if you haven't sold it yet, what your goal is, or what you want, like what you want your goal is really the same thing. And how you think that partner can help them. Now that's going to have to shift on each one. Or if you just don't have that time, it's just a little bit about yourself. Why you're unique. What's unique about your agency. I have a whole, I'm realizing my brain is working faster. my brain is working faster than my mouth wants to talk right now. I love talking about elevator pitches because I think it's a lost art and that everyone has them anymore. But people make decisions on you in, I think it's 18 seconds. So I always say a 30-second elevator pitch is crucial. In 30 seconds, if I were to ask you right now, what do you sell? What would you tell me? On instinct, people are like, oh, I sell FITs or I sell cruises. Great. So does everybody in this room. What makes you unique? What are you doing differently? What do you do? What do you want to be doing differently? How do you want to grow? If you don't know what you do differently yet, how do you want to grow your business? What is that you need from me as a supplier partner needs to be put that elevator pitch. I wrote it down. We're doing elevator pitches soon. It's just necessary because I'm not connecting facts in a way that I want to, and there's some really cool information that I can put out there. Andy, what is a good place to locate upcoming trade shows in my area? I know World Via posts some, but is there anywhere else I could cross-reference with? Great question. I know Travel Weekly used to post events. I don't know if they do anymore. If anyone has any comment, oh, thank you, Rocky. If anyone has any, Find Travel on Facebook. That's actually a really great point. I just met the owner of that company. She's fabulous. FYND Travel on Facebook. She's a free resource that is every event that's going on in the world of travel. Even if we don't send them to her, she reached out to me because she wants to start having all of our events, but she was even grabbing some of ours naturally just because we post them. She did win an award, for innovation. People that do trade shows, Kathy, that's a great point. AFSA does them. Jamaica Tourism Board does them. I know Travel Agents of the Midwest does one. I forget their tagline. There's a lot of ASTA presidents that host their own trade shows that are separate from ASTA. Like I know TABS, which is the Travel Agents of the Bronx and something or other in the New York area does them. I'm losing all my my acronyms right now. But so ASTA is a good place to look. But I'll if anyone else knows where they're listed, but Find Travel is a great example of what events are going on the other. Trying to think what other tourism boards. Antigua usually does one with Barbados and Bermuda. Who else does one? That's all I can think of offhand right now, but there's a handful of them for sure. And then of course any of your large events. So like we have a trade show at World every year, our yearly event. Any of the Cruise 360, Cruise Worlds, Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum, all those events have trade shows. If you do the Romance Travel Forum that's in destination, they have any large travel event will have a trade show. Sarah, I'd like to sell Intrepid backroads and small ship cruising to single women. Does Royal Via Pro work with Intrepid? We do work with Intrepid. And what is this type of travel? They go solo. I'm not sure what you're asking there. What is Intrepid's kind of travel? Let me know. And how do we refer to it as? Sarah, why don't you send me an email with these questions? Because that might be easier to get involved, unless someone else says an answer in here. But I'm Laura@worldvia.com, and we can kind of talk through that a bit. So I'm not quite understanding what you're asking there. That was some crazy thunder again. Where am I at? I forget where I'm even at on this slide. Oh, quality over quantity. Oh my goodness. So so elevator pitch. Make sure you're putting yourself out there in a quality conversation so they know what you're trying to get from it and they know what they're going to get from it. It's a great, that was where I was going. And then follow up strategically. Oh, I kind of touched on that already. Send the follow-up email. If you had a great conversation with a supplier partner, send the follow-up email. Send the follow-up email. I'm telling you, you don't have to do the phone call. If you're an introvert and you don't want to talk, that's not a worry at all. Just send a quick email. Hey, thanks for the conversation. You told me a little bit about this. Can you give me a bit more information? Can I get in front of you for a training? Are you doing any local events that I can go to? Those kind of questions. Cultivating strategic partnerships. Okay. Mutual benefit framework. Great partnerships where both parties gain clear value and opportunities for growth. Do not forget a supplier partner needs ROI to be involved in the things you're doing. And this works on all types of networking. So if a bunch of you are getting together to start a travel advisor group like we're talking about, and you want to have supplier partners come to these events, you have to say, okay, how many of us currently book that supplier partner? How many of us are interested in booking that supplier partner? What's our collective sales business? So we can present that to them so they see the value in coming to that event. So that needs to be mutually beneficial for everyone involved, right? This isn't as like on the granular of like a co-op situation. This is on a full perspective. Partnerships should be beneficial. This is for your internal friendships within peers. If you're befriending people out in the travel industry, and think about that. How can I help them just as much as they can help me? When I'm telling you to be in the room with 5 people that are smarter than you, give a reason for you to be in that room also. That's what's important. Lilith, if you specialize in a country, look at their tourism board for info. Oh yeah, a lot of tourism boards will do that too. That's a good point. That's the JTB is Jamaica Tourism Board. They do that. Oh, good. So, and where was that with? Oh, I was talking about like peers because, sometimes I know we get a lot of advisors that say, I want a mentor, and I get that. But mentors sometimes want to help, but they're also busy. So showing where it can be mutually beneficial for them, and that's not dollars. That's not taking sales away. That's not what that is. That's saying like, hey, if you do this for me, maybe I can be a backup for you for something. If you do this for me, maybe I can help you with financial stuff that you don't understand. I'm making up situations, but you get to know these individuals and see what their needs are and show how you can help them. It just shows that you care and that you're not just trying to suck the life out of somebody. And that's really important. And then, of course, like I said, with supplier partners, doing what makes sense for them as well as, and I can't tell you how many people I wanted to help as a supplier partner. But at the same time, I only had so much time. And let's be real, supplier teams are getting smaller and smaller, not bigger like they should be. So they are expended to their end. So make sure that you're making sure their time is valuable to them. They want to help everybody. I promise you they do. But just make sure you can show that ROI. Aligned communication, tailor your communication style and frequency to match partner goals and preferences. This is a big one. And I say that because this is a separate conversation we should have another time, but professionalism in your emails and your responses is incredibly important. You are running a business. You are not chatting with your friends on Snapchat. So make sure when you are approaching your communication, you are approaching it from a professional approach. Now, if they get back to you in an easier tone, in a more casual tone, you can continue in that tone. But if you are reaching out to a luxury brand and you're just shortening all your words and you're using emojis and you're doing the thing and you're not matching their energy, they're going to go, oh, I don't know if this person's aligned with the kind of business structure we want to be putting out there. I don't know if we want this travel advisor pushing our product out there. If you're looking at them for like helping you with something, right? They're not going to stop you from selling it, of course, but if you're looking to get extra help for them, they're going to keep those things in mind. But if you come at them as a professional and you put the right info in there and you approach this in a proper way, very different conversation. If you are not comfortable or don't even know how to create a professional email, I'm going to do my standard and tried and true kickback to this is a moment for AI, kids. If you are not comfortable writing professional documents, if you're not comfortable writing professional emails or unsure about your grammar, pop it in AI. Say, clean this up for me, make this more professional. Check for grammar in this. Grammarly even has its own AI. The world is out there for you to fix it. You just have to ask it to. So that's what kills me when I see unprofessional emails, because I know the technology's out there and for free. Okay, explore niche opportunities. So look beyond the immediate networks to discover unique partnership possibilities with specialty suppliers or influencers. So what I mean by this is sometimes we think our niche is incredibly specific. We're like, well, I'm a river cruise expert and my clients like river cruising and that's all they like. Okay, that might be the case. But something I've learned more recently is there's a direct connection between river cruisers and expedition cruisers. They like the feel of it. It feels very similar because it's not like there's no casinos running all over the place and best legs contest, things like that. And it's educational, which many river cruises are, and stop at different locations. And if you just sit in your box and think you're only selling river cruising and don't learn other potential opportunities for your niche, you're shutting yourself off. And Lilith, I'm going to use your example, like how you, if you're going with wine tours, right? People that like wine like other things. They love wine first, but they like other things. And where you're seeing a lot of brands do are bringing speakers on board. We're seeing this with Globus, right? And Avalon. They're bringing on the guy from Outlander. If you read Ed, she was there. They brought on a personal love of mine, Elizabeth Gilbert. She's a writer. Love her. They brought her on a river cruise. They just brought on somebody else I love recently, but they're branching out all these writers and different opportunities and different likes and things and needs and whatnot. Other spaces are also bringing those individuals on. So sometimes following the curvy line to the side and going, okay, well, who else is offering events like that? Oh, should I offer that to my client? And if they're luxury, how do I make it luxury for them? So it's like this is a class I'm planning for later on that I have not crafted yet, but this feels like a point to do this. I felt like there's a bug in my eye. We're in a weird time, politically, climately, all the things, right? And things feel a little funky, right? Because we've all gotten letters this week of everything that's going on in the world and what's going on. And something that's incredibly important in times like this, because I've lived through it in this industry, is resilience. And how you are resilient in this industry is by thinking outside the box and being flexible, being willing to pivot. If you are not resilient and you are not willing to adjust and change, you will not come with the tides. But if you are willing to do those things and get a little uncomfortable, you're going to survive anything that comes this way, because this industry is cyclical. If we're not going to one place, we're going to another. If we're not traveling here, we're traveling somewhere else. But if you aren't willing to get outside your comfort zone and learn those other spaces, or learn what's even a possibility that you might not even know yet from one of your supplier partners, you got to get on board or you're going to lose your funds. You're going to lose your clientele. It's just, at the end of the day, that's a reality. So the wine example, if you have wine lovers, where are they trying to go? Don't just make, and I'm not saying you're doing this, Lilith, but don't just make it cruises because you want it to be cruises. I don't even know if you're not even doing cruises. I think you do FITs, but you know what I'm saying? Where do they want to go next? What's their next adventure? And adjust to that, learn more about that. So they sent an email to a local Italian restaurant yesterday to request an in-person meeting, see if they can host regular events there in a way that is mutually beneficial. Thank you so much for bringing up an example I wanted to mention and forgot. So when you're looking at creating events for yourself, an Italian restaurant is a great example of this. A bridal shop is a great example of this. Partners that don't make sense, not necessarily they don't make sense, but they're not in your immediate, like right in front of you, that could work for your business and you could benefit them. Hair salons, spas, restaurants that are on theme for where you sell destinations to, bands. We have a local band that is only popular locally, and they have a group of cruisers that travel every single year with them with 150 people in their group. Every single year. Nobody knows this band except those 150 people. And they go every year on Ellie's trying to come in if you could hear. They go every year on Royal Caribbean. They love it. Had you known about the band and what they want to do, now they're humoring doing an all-inclusive. If you didn't know all-inclusives, you only did cruising, you'd be missing out on that. I'm just using a hypothetical example. They are not hypothetical. It's a very real thing. It's been going on for years. But that's what I mean by kind of thinking outside your own box. Like whiskey, that's why I chose Ireland. Great one-off with that. Mary, I really need help finding my niche and narrowing it down. Is there someone I can contact to help me? So one, Mary, that is a completely understandable thing. People struggle with niches. I've done some classes on niches. Haven't done it in a minute. If you are with World Via, okay, perfect. One, there is a training that I can point you towards. That'll help you a little bit about that online. It's the signal what you sell. It gets into brand identity and things like that. Also, we have some great people that will help you. Sal also just put up an excellent idea. You can talk with Avia about it. I also have some trainings. I did a past a session on niching down. It's all on WorldVia's YouTube. And also feel free to send me email, laura@worldvia.com. We can talk a bit more about niching. There's a ton of people that can help you with niching in our network, for sure. If we need to schedule some time with development with you, we can do all the things. Okay. And I guess this is a good point. So I'm talking about niche opportunities is things to think about when you're thinking about your niche is, do you love it? Can you sell it all the time? Is it going to make you money? Because those are very important. You could love something, but if it's going to make you no money, you're burning circles in the ground trying to get to it, don't do it. If you love something, do you enjoy doing it? Two very different things. We talked through that, right? You don't love it so much, you don't mind doing it, but you make good money. Is that worth it to you? Because that doesn't mean it should be your niche. So there's a couple factors with that. And then the last factor in all of it is, do you have an audience to sell it to? Because I can't tell you how many people where their niche gets too specific. They get too tied into a grandiose idea and they don't sell a darn thing. So just be careful. That's all I'll say about that. And we'll do, I'll do another niche session too. Love talking niches. Okay. Maximizing online networking. So digital presence strategies for as far as getting your networking out online. One, establish thought leadership through blogs, LinkedIn posts, and videos. So this is the other side of thought leadership. This is showing people you're networking with that your horizons are broadened. It shows your value in that group of 5, right? What do you have knowledge about? Is it travel tips? Is it information about destinations? Is it videos of destinations? I can tell you, there's an individual, his name is Danny. He is a NextGen travel advisor. I'll give him the plug where the plug is due. The entire time I worked as an advisor, I would use his cruise room videos to sell cruise ships to clients because he did it and he did it well. That's not quite thought leadership, but that's again, establish your version of the internet out in the world. What is that? What are you good at? Are you good at writing? Write blog posts. Are you good at kitschy little phrases? Work on some LinkedIn social posts. Are you good at short little funny videos that are related to travel? Work on TikTok. Whatever you feel comfortable leaning into, establish yourself in that space, and then start to share that around. Ooh, Kim, I'm working with someone now to help me optimize LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Fun fact about LinkedIn, I like to share this all the time because when I heard it, I was like, what? LinkedIn, they say you're successful if you post regularly. And regularly for LinkedIn is 1 post a week. If you can't commit to 1 post a week, you're too busy. You got to slow it down. You got to rein it in a little bit. Now, other ones, they have different commitment levels. But I thought that was so interesting about LinkedIn. So maybe and that's why I say find your social channel that you want to be successful in, because maybe for you don't have the time to be posting multiple times a day on TikTok or a few times a week on Instagram. So focus on LinkedIn, bring people in there. Ooh, you just started exploring LinkedIn because I think that's where your target audience is. I agree with you, Rocky. I think that would be a great space for you. I think a lot of people are on LinkedIn that aren't active on other social channels because that's not really where a space where they're comfortable in and they're learning from LinkedIn. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there. I have had an active goal for myself to be more active on LinkedIn, and I am not being successful at it. I'll tell you that right now. Not great at social. I'll be honest with you. We know this. If you're friends with me, and some of you are on Facebook, I'm trying. I'm just not there yet. Well, that's why I'm so excited for Ralio, the new market up. I get it. Listen, we're all working on it. We're all getting better. Actively engage in relevant online groups and forums. So this is an interesting one because I can't tell you how many times I've said that phrase a lot today. I'm sorry, but it's true. So many people are pitching the wrong things in the wrong spaces. Like I'm in travel groups, hundreds of them, right? And somebody's like, I'm a great Disney seller and we're in a Riviera Maya group. I'm like, okay, good for you, Tina. I made up Tina's name. I don't know, but Tina is her name. Find the right spaces. And also, I can't tell you how many times I see advisors marketing to advisors and travel advisor groups. Look at the room. You ain't buying from you. You got to find different spaces. Now, places you want to market yourself in. Maybe it's mom groups. Maybe it's how always. And I'll comment on some of the things above. It kills my soul They're like, I'm an advisor for this. And I'm like, good for you. So are we all. That's why we're all here. Like, but they're trying to sell something there. That's not the space. Find whatever niche you're getting into, search in your social channels and see what groups are focused on it. Then get in there and see what's being posted around in there. Make sure you check the rules at all these forums and things. Make sure you're allowed to promote yourself in this manner. And then say, hey, I actually sell travel to these destinations. Hey, I actually sell this. If you need help, let me know. Sometimes they don't allow that, so be careful. But again, engage in relevant online groups and forums. Sometimes it's not about selling yourself in these spaces, it's showing your knowledge. So when people ask questions, you answer the question. They say, oh, how do you know this? Oh, I'm actually a travel advisor. So if you ever had questions, let me know. Then you're not selling yourself at all. You're just answering questions. There's ways to get around the rules with things and keep it relevant and also help people along the way. So I want to answer some of the things in here. What about I got to go up a little bit. Kim, I met her through the Chamber of Commerce. She does free consult and several options for, okay, cool. What about alternative to Google Business? Because I do not want to give up my home address. Oof, Pam, this is a tough one. Google Business is really a pain right now. I know that. Does anyone have any answers to the Google Business problems? I'm going to be honest. I do not at the moment. I refuse to go on TikTok because my ideal clients is people that are 50 and older. That's fair, Lil. That's not your audience. That's okay. You have another audience. That's all right. Rocky, I'm in a lot of forums, especially Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings ones, but they don't let us post. See, there you go. So trying to find the workaround. Right. And Rocky, the workaround for you is facts in those spaces. You got to kill them with facts, show your knowledge, show why you're helpful, show all those things. And that could get you in the right space with that. Portray your expertise. So some said I didn't get there yet. I'm sorry. Oh, look at that. We're releasing names. Okay, perfect. All right. I just wanted to get through all that. Ellie is very upset with somebody outside, and you guys are going to see a comedy of errors if she busts herself out the side door, which she can do when she's this upset. So you're going to see me running, and I hope that doesn't happen. Participate in webinars and virtual networking sessions. Listen, this is more for training on your, oh, she's getting dangerous over there. I'm so sorry. I'm never this distracted by her, but okay, she came back. Participate in webinars and virtual networking sessions. So again, webinars, this is for learning experiences. I mean this in, but also if there's, occasionally there's virtual networking sessions for travel advisors for you to meet different supplier partners. There might be virtual networking sessions for people to bring on new clientele. That's an idea I've seen advisors do is that, hey, I'm doing a virtual session. Come on, learn more about this product. Let me tell you more about it. And they come in and ask questions. It's a way to grab clients. It's also a way for the groups you're in, if they do virtual sessions or in webinars, you can get on there and answer those questions. There's a lot of good fun spaces for that. Oh, Lilith, have you thought of reaching out to local card stores, Rocky, who host card games such as Magic the Gathering on the regular? They're also typically Lord of the Rings fans. It's a very good point. Use social media as an extension of your in-person presence. So this is a choice you have to make when you're choosing to network yourself and how you're presenting yourself as a business. It is a mistake I made. Not that I regret it. I shouldn't say it's a mistake. It's not a problem, but I'll tell you the mistake I made. When I got into social media, I did not make a business social and a personal social. So my personal social is both. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. I friend all of y'all in there. You get the personal photos, you get the non-personal photos. I have nothing to hide. I don't care. But if that is not who you are as a person, you need to make that choice now. That being said, whatever your version of yourself is that you are putting out in your sales pitches, it better match your social. Because if they think they're sold a bag of something and they get a very different thing, it's the labubu lafufu thing. I don't know if you have teenagers in your life and you know what a labubu is, but if they think they're getting a labubu, which is a nearly impossible, weird monster stuffed toy, and they get a lafufu, which is a terrifying, disturbing reject version of said monster toy, they're going to be upset. They are kind of creepy. I do want one. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. That's who I am as a person. But this is the reality. If you're giving Labubu online and you're getting Lafufu in person, this is not the story we need to be telling. It is for everybody. Mary, I'm not going to get into boo-boo talk, but the amount of time I have to spend on that app just clicking to try and buy one every night for my 10-year-old daughter, and I have yet to get one. I will not even get into, but that's irrelevant. The point is valid, right? If they think they're getting one version and they get a very different version, they're going to be timid to buy from you. Supplier partners, if they get a very different version of you in your emails and who you are in person and what you're selling, they're going to be less timid to want to work with you. Make sure your story is consistent. Be the person you are on social as you are in person. Some people will say to me very often, I am too open online. I say everything online. Yep, I do, because I don't want people to be shocked when they meet me. That's just a reality. I am myself on these videos because I never want a moment for you to meet me in person and think you can't be this way with me in person. If I was regimented and held tight in here, and then you met me in person and saw me like this, you'd be like, I don't know that girl. And if this girl wasn't for you, you would be weirded out. It is incredibly important to hold a brand standard for yourself and set it and go with it. So that's what, oh, Ellie's so sad. I'm sorry, Ellie. Bust the door down. I can't go open the door. She's crying on the outside. All right, come on, slide. Come. Now, strategic visibility for long-term growth. One, selective engagement. Do not. Oh, I'm really overwhelmed, but so glad I joined this. Oh, thank you, Raven. Listen, I need to represent. I really struggled with having an online presence for a long time. But the moment I realized I can just be this version of me and people are okay with it, and if they're not, then I'm not for them, was a really beautiful thing. I read a book once, and some of you may have heard the quote before, but it says, other people's opinions of you is none of your business. And that was a real aha moment for me of going, you know what, you're right. I'm just not meant for everybody, and that's okay. And so once I realized I could be 100% myself, but still teach valid information to people, and I think in a way that is easy for you to understand because it's coming from a real perspective. It's coming from a way that I'm not like preaching it at you. I'm not making it uncomfortable. I lived it. I did it myself. So like I learn from my mistakes, right? But I think it means a lot to me because I try to make this as comfortable and easy as I can. So okay, so selective engagement. Target high value events. I want to read through this and kind of go through high value events and partnerships that directly align with your business objectives and ideal client profile. So the deeper version of this is if you're already selling, look at your profit drivers. Are the partners you're trying to partner with make sense? And what I mean by profit drivers, if you don't know, this is like, who are you booking with that you're making the most commission with on one booking, and how much work went into that booking to get it. I did a sales class or a service fees class a while ago on how to work out what you should be charging for yourself and what your value is worth. And I get into profit drivers a little bit more if you want to go back and watch that. But just going back and seeing exactly where you're making money, right? And are you partnered with those partners? You might not be. And actually, a lot of times people aren't. It's unintentional because you're going with wherever your client wants to go to, but maybe there's a switch cell that you can be flip-flopping with so you can be making more money. That's one piece of this. But also target high value events. Are the events you're going to ones where those partners are going to be at? Are the partners that you need to be growing your business where you're showing up? Or are you just showing up because there's a travel event locally? I get that also, especially if you're just trying to network yourself in the beginning, you're trying to get to know people, you're trying to understand. But if you are a established business owner and you're just going to every JTB show that comes to town, because we know they come out all the time, is that valuable for you? Are you getting value for your business from that? And that's why I say about be selective. Do what makes sense. Do what's going to bring you money back in. Okay, again, quality over quantity. Avoid just killing your schedule with events because you think you're going to see the most people and you're going to cover the most ground. Because the amount of money you're spending in hotels and flights, and I know you can write it off on your taxes, but Lord, if you don't have any money, you're not making any money. You're not going to be able to make any money. You can't. It's not going to help you. So avoid overdoing that. Be selective about what events you go to. There are some incredible industry events out there, and there's also some just okay ones. Do the ones where you're also getting training and you're learning at, getting the ones that it's not just a trade show. Trade shows are great if it's just one evening, but if you're going to a multi-day event, Go to the ones that you know have value. Go to the ones that you know where the education you're getting at it, making sure it makes sense. I can tell you from our perspective, when we're building World, it is incredibly important to us that the classes we're putting out there for our yearly event have value, are going to be worth people's time to get there and invest in it. Because we know you're making choices, and you should be making choices. We know there's individuals that go, I'm going to this or at World, I'm going to Edge or this. We want to make sure it has value, and you should be making sure your schedule makes sense and is bringing back value to you. Sustainable routine. Create networking approach that fits your lifestyle and prevents burnout while maintaining consistent visibility. I'm going to use an example from someone that's in our company to talk about this. She's a member of ours. She's a lovely, lovely human, and she is just crushing it. In her first year, she is absolutely just, she has the right motivation, the right idea. She's getting out, but she is burning so fast. And she had said to me, I don't know if I want to market my business or bring on employees, because I just want to slow it down in the summer. And I said, I think in that statement, you know exactly what you need to do. And it is not build your business this summer. Because she is a mama and she's got a life and she's got things going on. And the last thing you want to do when you are building yourself out, your business, is burn yourself out too early. Because there are different kinds of advisors out there, and there is a specific kind of advisor that does all the things and gets all ready and has everything prepared, and they are just churning, but they are not producing. And so you're putting so much work in and you're not seeing that ROI for yourself. ROI is not just with your supply partners, it's not just with peers, it is on yourself. So make sure what you're investing in and what you're trying to do makes sense for you and your business. Makes sense, and space it out. I can't tell you how many times I would love to go to every event. I would love to be visible for so many people, but I have a family and I have a mental health that I need to take care of, that I go, I can't do that. I would love to do that next year. I can't do that this year. So be listening to this. Andy, girl, same. Why I have to make choices is because I don't always have a great work-life balance. I'll be honest with you. If you're not reading the chat, Andy said me listening since after being at Peterson 7 a.m. I have been here since 7 a.m. working all day, working all week, slept at your desk. No, I'm so sorry. I do make jokes because this is the futon, the new couch back here, that this is just for busy season. So I can just take a little nap, skapoo. It's not, but listen, it's a real thing. So make sure you're balancing yourself out. Make sure you're not doing too many webinars because you're trying to take it all in. Those webinars will be there in another version in the future. They're not a one-time thing. These trainings will be there in another version in the future if it's not exactly the same in the future. Don't let it stress you out. Don't spend all your money because you think you need to go everything this year. You do not. Make choices. Put value into it. Make sure quality is there. It's important. Networking action plan. Okay, so first, evaluate your network. Assess current connections to identify relationship deepening opportunities and critical missing contacts. This is the profit driver conversation, right? So make sure you are putting your money where it makes sense. Refine your personal brand. Clarify your unique value proposition and ensure consistency across all platforms and interactions. Value prop. We're going to get into it. And what your value prop statement to be. That class I wrote down that we're going to do about your brand and your elevator pitch. We'll get into how you build your value prop, because there's like what's your tagline and then your value proposition statement are two different things, but they're all part of your elevator pitch. We'll get into it. But I don't want to take much of your time tonight because I'm already 10 minutes over and I know you all have places to be. Engage meaningfully. Identify specific ways to provide additional value to your top contacts in the next 30 days. I think it's a great way to just take a minute. Again, work on your business, not just in it. Find out who your top contacts are. Start reaching out. Collaborate with peers. Plan one joint adventure in the next quarter, such as co-hosting a webinar or creating shared promotion. For those of you that are starting groups in your area, you've already done it. I love this, but think about it. What could you be doing? Questions, comments, thoughts, sarcastic remarks. This is your spot. Let's collaborate on strategies on what have worked for everyone in the room. We've been talking a bit all evening, but remember, networking is a continual process and the key to consistency. Oh, thank you, Shondell. I really appreciate that. Challenge, implement just one strategy over the next month and track your results. I say this constantly. Oh, thank you, Lilith. I appreciate that. I miss y'all, but I'm gone for the next 2 weeks. Don't be mad at me. I take a personal travel. And I'm popping up a thank you. Is there a way to find fellow agent events near us? So that we were talking about that earlier, Raymond. Find Travel has an extensive list of travel events that are going on. Real quick, I'm going to walk away for 2 seconds. I'm going to let Ellie and I'll come right back because she's so sad. And we're going to think of questions. All right. She's a sad puppy over there. I'm back. I'm back. There she is. For anyone that missed her, there's Miss Ellie, employee of the month. She was out crying. So Find Travel, FYND Travel. They're on Facebook. They have their own website. They have an extensive list of events. Also, I do believe Wanderlust CEO also has their own. I forget the name of it offhand right now, but they have one also. So everyone's working on some calendars, but that's a good way. Here is my email if you need it. I'm also going to pop the Facebook group back in the chat if you didn't catch it on the first slide. If you need to go, because I am 10 minutes over, I am not offended at the slightest. Please go enjoy your evenings and your families. But if not, let's hang out for, oh, now you're getting my full screen. Don't look at how many tabs I have, moment, and don't judge me. I don't judge you. Sorry, I meant more my local meetups and networking rather than large events, but I'll double check those sites. Oh, great question, Raymond. I don't know about local meetups. The only thing I could tell you that I used to search for myself was I would search like travel agent groups near me, travel advisor groups near me, or I would say like where I don't know where you are locationally. So I would do like Northeast Pennsylvania travel advisor groups is something I would put in there. Or you could reach out to your local ASTA chapter. Sometimes they have a list of those more localized events. Depending on where you live, ASTA chapters break up pretty weird ways. I know that specifically my area is really funky on how it breaks up. But check on where your local ASTA chapter is, and that could be a good way to see that. Any other questions on here about what we talked about anything else going on that you want to talk about? Do we like this topic? Did it work? Because I'm trying to blend topics, we know. So this kind of is a transition into this. Lori, I'm going to check out meetup.com. They might have some groups, at least some small local. Oh, I've never heard of meetup.com. Oh, Lilith, that is why I created my newbie group, right? A foster community. Yep. Listen, and I say it all the time. This industry can be incredibly isolating if you don't take the step to be a part of another group, to kind of bring yourself among peers and other people, a place to ask the stupid questions. And they're not always stupid, but you know what I mean by that. To have a space to feel comfortable saying, hey, what do you use? Why do you use it that way? Why does it work for you that way? When you have those spaces and you feel comfortable doing so, you're more willing to share and learn more. A local chamber also is a great for networking. Well, if I agree with that, your local chamber, if you can join that. Okay. Does anyone have any thoughts, questions? Because if not, after this week, y'all, you don't see me for 2 weeks. So this is just your friendly reminder that I am on vacation next week. And then the following week, I'm going to see the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. And we all agreed not to judge me about that. We're just going to let me do that and let me be happy. And then I'm back for the last 3 weeks of July. And there's some fun things coming up. You can catch up on past webinars, Lilith. Thank you. That is a great point. The Sphere is going to be so fun, Alexis. I can't wait. I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous. I listen. I cannot wait. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Thank you to everyone here. If you have to go, I get it. Please go. I'll hang for a few more moments. I'm very excited. This trip with my family, we haven't had a low-key just us trip in a minute. We tend to travel with a lot of people, so I'm very excited just to check out for a week. I have books. These are going into my suitcase after I'm done with you guys. So if you want to know what I'm reading while I'm gone, it's a lot of fantasy nonsense because that's who I am as a person. But those are going in the suitcase. Will I read 3 books? Absolutely not. I just like to carry the weight around. I'll try. But that's my plan for the week. You have all those on your team? I'm very excited about all of them. So I'll let you know how they are. There's some good ones in there. But I'm gonna do a lot of reading next week and hiding And then the following week, I'm in the first 3 days, but I'm out Thursday. That's when I head to Vegas for the Sphere. And then I'm back after that. So if you need anything in the meantime, Laura@worldvia.com. Thank you all so much. I would not be here if y'all didn't show up every Thursday, and it brings me a lot of joy that you do. I'm incredibly grateful for all of you. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity. And if that's it, y'all, I will see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll be very tanned and very well read. So I hope you'll have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.